Good afternoon, everyone. I'm calling everybody to do something urgent and letting everybody know to say no to this bill. I don't know about you, but this bill obviously tells me that we're about to become a sanctuary state. AB 376, which has a lot of sponsors, basically, as you see here, enacting the Keep Nevada Working Act. So it's just such hypocrisy. It's such a sham how they supported these shutdown members and prohibit state and local agencies from performing certain actions regarding to immigration enforcement, even including campus police and delivering certain information to federal immigration authorities. So this is what they do. Thanks to the corporations, mainly casinos, along with the unions, which has encouraged a climate bringing lots and lots of non-citizens into the state of Nevada, which helped fuel a political system that elects their own people into office. They have effectively created a power grab and a process where they can continue to pass laws that perpetuate their own interests. So I don't know about you, but I can tell you that this tells me that this is a sanctuary state. However, what's really disgusting about all this is that it really exposes their hypocrisy, because the resort hotels are the ones, along with the restaurants, that disproportionately were affected by the shutdown. And because it disproportionately affected immigrants, they don't want to admit that their previous policies failed, and what they want to do is they want to make sure that you distract from where the problem occurred, and they want to put the burden and the consequences on us. As you know, one of the people who is sponsoring this, these are people who are total shills for illegal aliens. Let's take a look right here. One of them happens to be Selena Torres. I've met her parents, and she's the woman, which I'll show you in a future video, that decided to walk away from me while Sisolak was signing a bill catering to non-citizens. This is exactly what they do. They ignore the people who have different opposition, and they put the needs of non-citizens over the American people. They fail to tell the American people about how this migration is actually benefiting us. But they don't care, because as long as they have a blog, and as long as you have an economic system that allows you, the taxpayer, to pay for their services, this system can go on. And this is one of the reasons why they're continuing to perpetuate the caravans, but they're not mentioning anything about it. This is also one of the reasons why the United States should consider breaking up for good. I've messaged a lot of states and organizations like Idaho and Texas who wish to break away from this nonsense. Keep in mind, remember, that the fact that California did this at a larger scale. And California, as a result, for one of the reasons, thanks to this large immigrant voting bloc, the result is that they have a lot of bad laws and high taxes, and companies are fleeing the state. But they don't want to admit that whether this process in other states have worked or not. You can see here how in this video what she's doing is she's trying to promote Hispanic students having Hispanic teachers so they can have better education. Well, just imagine if you think that whites would have done the same. This is how insane this really is. And by the way, keep in mind that she's the one who sponsored the English Language Learner Bill of Rights. Keep in mind that I was born and raised bilingual, and I was learned to raise Farsi, and I didn't have any ELL courses, despite the fact that Persian is a lot more different than Spanish. Can you see all the double standards and hypocrisy of all this? Now, to give you a little bit of message of hope, this is a video that was taken out of the Red Eagle Politics. This is the change from 2016 to 2020. Now, I don't know about you, but you can see here that the northeast section of Vegas has gotten more redder, while the Summerlin sections and the Henderson sections have gotten bluer. The redder sections represent the high immigrant and high minority populations. This is not just happening along the border counties. This is also happening in certain other immigrant Latino areas that they're getting fed up with this as well. Not to mention the fact that the Culinary Union was not there. And that's why they're pumping all of this. That's why they're trying to pass this bill. Because they know that the casino sector, along with the constructions, is not a very stable sector. It is very fragile, and if they lose their employment, if there's another economic shakeup, they could lose their power. Folks, this is not mainly about Latinos, this is not mainly about immigrants, this is a power grab. This is why you're getting these crummy elected officials. It's about identity politics. And they're using this to further divide the country while the rich in America continue to laugh their way to the bank, benefiting the people at top like Jim Murren, who is heavily profiting from these shutdowns. This should be the #1 issue facing our state. My goodness, why can't people wake up to this nonsense? Look at this, Latino Lobby. And there you have it, Brian Sandoval. He's the guy who catered and pandered to these people. They're part of the same team. Usually, parties don't really matter in the broad scheme. They're doing this to play identity politics to show that they're victims so they can make other people feel guilty while they're victims of discrimination. Well, if you're being discriminated, then why the hell are you immigrating into the United States? And why aren't Persians like me underperforming from all of this? Just as you've noticed that the North Las Vegas mayor, the city that has the highest percentage of Democrat voters, switched his political party. More people are getting sick of the double standards, political correctness, and cancel culture. And Bill Maher has talked about this as well. And this just to show you who truly runs our state. I want you to guys all make copies of this, make flags, banners, and signs so we can see what's going on. One of the reasons why the Las Vegas economy hasn't fully collapsed, and by the way, I know a lot of places are still willing to open, but I don't think we're going to be back to where we were anytime soon, is because of this artificial supply of housing. So as you know, many people are not moving out of their apartments, and they're not paying their mortgage, and the moratoriums are going on. Well, guess what? This created a short squeeze. They're getting a loss of income, and that, along with the rising costs of labor, lumber, etc., it's causing prices to go up. This is very, very alarming. And this has been one of the reasons why the economy has not fully tanked in Las Vegas. This is creating an artificial boom, more cookie cutter, low quality, useless HOA, gated areas, car dependent areas, more benefits and power going to the Federal Reserve and Wall Street, and while other people have to pay higher costs for housing. This is creating an artificial boom, and it's creating basically kind of a life support of the Las Vegas economy. But the sad reality is bond yields and mortgage rates which follow it have been going up. What's going to happen when this implodes? This is going to deliver a double whammy to our economy. Because mortgage rates are going to have to follow, and if you can't get enough buyers, this trend will have to slow down, one way or another. Wait until you see all these homes get put into the market. And perhaps this is going to be an opportunity for Wall Street to buy up these institutions. Hey, I thought these Latinos are supposed to be about against inequity. Why are they talking about the Wall Street increased takeover of our system? Well, there you see who's putting the hands of identity politics. You guys need to make sure that you spread this video and get the word out there to make sure that you speak out against this bill. It's going to be happening at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Please call in.